previous class we discussed the introduction of the India relief features, overview point of the chapter, everything we have done in our previous class. Now today class we are going to discuss about the explanation part of the lesson, the India's relief feature. So before going to explanation, we know some important points related to our chapter. Okay, what is the meaning of geological study? What is the meaning of geological study? The scientific study of the earth related history, structure, this all will be known as geological study. Geological background, when you're talking about the background, we have to know the past historical event of our earth, major event, and the timing and scale, erosion, soil erosion, weatheric effect, deposition, etc. This all will comes under the geological background. Earth, how it will formed. In our previous class we studied about the earth structure, okay, and the different layers of the earth, mantle, core, and the crust, how they are forming. This all we studied in our previous class. This overall known as the geological background of the earth. So now we have go for the explanation part, how this earth are formed, land is formed. Earth formation you know very well, how the land formed. So we are saying that in 2 seconds ago, just according to the it was a large supercontinent that existed 225 million years ago. Now this is a supercontinent broke up into the two large land masses because of the continuous movement of the earth, the disturbance, where I said the weatheric effect, erosion, deposition, etc. It's giving the large land masses. Two large land masses are there, the Gondwana land or Angara land. Gondwana land and Angara land. Angara land is also known as Laurentia land. Okay, so these are the two large land masses which formed due to the weatheric effect, deposition, erosion, the movement of the earth, okay, from the 225 million years ago. So these two land masses, namely Gondwana land and Angara land. Angara land is also known as Laurentia. So these are the two main land form. We are talking majorly in our Gondwana land. Why we are talking of Gondwana land only? Because India lies in that land. India located in the Gondwana land. Many other countries also located in the Gondwana land. When you talk about South Africa, America, South America, Arabia, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, India, Australia, Antarctica, this all is the part of Gondwana land. This all will countries are present onto the Gondwana land. Okay, why they given the name Gondwana land? It was a very famous scientist, Austrian scientist, okay, whose name was Edward Sauss, after the Gondwana region of central India, which is diverged from the Sanskrit meaning, Sanskrit word, that meaning is forest of the Gonds. As you know, the people who are living in the forest area and the hill areas and all, that people known as Gondwana people. So these are the small introduction of the two land masses which is formed due to the disturbance, continuous flow of the earth, and at the earth movement, the formation of the different layer of the earth, the deposition of continuous million years ago. This all giving the structure of two land masses, Gondwana land, Angara land or Laurentia land. Angara land is also known as Laurentia land. This you have to remember, girls. Sometime he will ask you in the exam, write about Gondwana and Angara land. You have to write the small definition. It was a supercontinent. It was a supercontinent that was existed 225 million years ago. Okay, why we are talking mostly in our Gondwana land? Gondwana land because it was India lies. We are learning about, we are discussing about the India's relief features. So we must know what is the Gondwana land, where it was situated. It was situated in the south. The Gondwana land was situated in the south, and also these two land masses were separated by Titlis and east-west trending ocean. These two land was separated by the oceans. Okay, the Gondwana land and Laurentia land. These are the geological background of our history of Gondwana land and the Laurentia land or Angara land. So we just simple look I am giving you here. I just defined that Gondwana land and the Gondwana definition. Why we given this name? Okay, it was composed of the major countries, major continents: South America, Africa, Arabia, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, India, Antarctica, and Australia. When you talk about Angara land or the Laurentia land, a piece of rock that looks like a shield. You know, the Angara land is look like a shield. Shield is nothing but a metal piece, a piece of metal, okay, which will look like a covering anything. So we are saying that the Angara land is look like a shield. And why they given Angara land? That why they given the name of Angara land? In ancient time, one place was situated in Siberia. Based on that name, they given the Angara land name. Okay girls, I hope up to here you understood what is the geological background of our chapter. This is the first point and the discussion. We will go for the next part of the explanation, that is Himalayas. So girls, previous class also I told you that what is Himalayas. Himalayas are located in our India, and it was the highest mountain peak in the world. And what is the speciality of the Himalayas? Himalayas covered with snow. Okay, as you know, the all Himalayas area, the northern part, northeast and the northwest part of our India covered with snow. Okay, and it is also known as abode of the snow. Two meanings will be the same or similar. Okay, you can say the covered with the snow, the mountains covered with the snow, or you can say the abode of the snow. So we are having the four directions: north, south, east and west. Northeast, northwest, southeast and southwest. So Himalaya lies on the north, northeast and northwest. This part will all covered with the snow. So where the Himalayas spread, how much the small Himalayas were spread? It is only in India, and it was near neighboring country also it was covered. Yes, it was covered by the neighboring country too, because Himalayas are spread across India, China, Nepal, Bhutan and Pakistan. So these all places are covered with snow. The Himalayas spread over there. Okay, the next, what is the ranges of the Himalayas? The Himalayas ranges in west-east direction. Okay, northeast, northwest direction, and it will flow in the arch form, arch distance of 2,400 kilometers. What is that arch distance which the Himalayas ranges are flow? 2,400. It will talk about objective type question. When we come to the width, what is the width of our? Width different from the 500 kilometers in the western part region, 200 kilometers in the east central and the eastern region. So north, northeast, northwest, when we are talking about this all, you have to know how much is width. Okay, this all is the Himalayas. First I told you that Himalayas is the highest mountain peak in the world. It was spread across the India, China, Nepal, Bhutan and Pakistan. Next I told you what are the ranges of Himalayan ranges and which direction it was flow: east, west, east direction, and in the form of arch distance. What is the arch distance here? 2,400. These are the most important point, girls. You have to remember that in examination objective type question it will ask you. When you talk about the width of the Himalayas spreading, 500 kilometers in the western part and 200 kilometers central and the eastern region. These are the Himalayas, and it also attitudinal variation across the region. Across the region it is having attitudinal. What is the meaning of attitudinal? Relating to the position of the place. Okay, what is the meaning of attitudinal? Relating to the position of the place, north or south of the earth equator. We are having the equator. A globe is nothing but our earth structure, and earth is surrounded by the water. And equator, we are having equator. Imaginary lines on the globe is nothing but equator. Okay, whatever the lines we drawn, okay, latitudes and the longitude and the equator. Two middle half we will separate by the equator line, and it is 0 degree equator. So that is known as attitudinal variation. So across the region, what is the meaning of region? The place, particular place is known as region. Himalayas or Himadri will be same. Himalayas also called Himadri. Okay, and it have the average elevation of about 6,100 meters above the sea level. What is the average of Himadri or Himachal, Himalayas or the Himadri's average elevation? What I told you in studies class, what is the meaning of elevation? What is the meaning of elevation? A particular point of area which we are measuring. That is known as elevation. So here again I am saying you to what is the meaning of elevation? We completed. So here the Himalayas or the Himadri and average elevation is 6,100 meter above the sea level. Okay. The next is that the greater Himalayas are composed of snow and ice cover. Yes, the Himalayas are covered with snow, ice and melting glaciers. Melting glaciers will form the rivers. Okay, the melting glaciers, the snow which is melt, it gives the shape of rivers, where the rivers were form or originate. That will be known as the perennial rivers. Okay, that will be known as perennial rivers. The glaciers and the snow which is melting, okay, which is covered onto the mountain, that will be known as perennial rivers. When we talk about the next to this Himalayas, what is the most important over there? South of the greater Himalayas is called lesser Himalayas. Okay, the south part of our Himalayas is called lesser Himalayas. It will ask you one more question in the one more question. What is lesser Himalayas? The south of the greater Himalayas is called lesser mountain. The height ranges from 3,700 to 4,500 meters. What are the lesser Himalayas? The South Himalayas ranges are 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters. It is one mark question you able to attend or 2 marks able to write. This 2-3 lines, 2-3 sentences. The most important of Himalayas, the most important ranges are the Prepinchal and Mahabharata. Okay, these are the most important ranges of the Himalayas, Prepinchal and Mahabharata. The lesser Himalayas consist of many valleys. Many valleys are there in Himalayas. Okay, like you can talk about Kashmir, Kangra and Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. These are the very famous valleys which is formed and originate, we can say, and it is located in the lesser Himalayas due to the effect of a snow cover continent, the glaciers which is flow over there. It is give a very famous valleys, Kashmir, Kangra and Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. Apart from these valleys, we are having many hill station in north our Himalayas places. What are the many hill stations? We can say Shimla, Mysore, Nainital, Raniket, etc. These are the very famous hill station in Himalayas. So these are the main important point we have to know about Himalayas. Okay, apart from the valleys, I told you many hill stations are like giving the example of Shimla, Mysore, Nainital and Raniket, etc. These are the Himalayas complete biographical explanation. Depth of the explanation we completed. All points we cover from the Himalayan point. When you talk about the next range, what is that? Southern ranges of Himalayas. Southern part of the Himalayas are Shivaliks. Okay, Himalayas and Himadri are same. Now next part is Shivaliks. Which part the Shivaliks will start? Southern ranges of Himalayas Shivaliks. Okay, and it was width of 10 to 15 kilometers. 10 to 50 kilometers and altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meter. What are the altitude range over there? 900 and 1100 meters. Okay, where you are finding the Shivaliks? The southern part of the Himalayas are Shivaliks. What are their width ranges? Width 10 to 50 kilometers. And what is the varying altitude variation? 900 to 1100 meter. What is the mean of altitude? Altitude, the height of the something above the sea level. Many things, altitudinal, elevation and altitude. These all same meaning you will get. The word we are using, that is a different. We can say homonyms. Synonyms, homonyms, that words we will use, that is same way here we are using the different word but naming will be same. So what is the next part of the Shivaliks? What is the importance of the Shivaliks? Shivaliks are called by different names in different regions. Shivaliks is only a one name, but different region people will call different name. Like Jammu Hills in Jammu region, Mismi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh and Kagar in Assam. So these Shivaliks will be called by the different names by the different states. Okay, what is the another important things is Shivaliks is also having any valleys, any hill station? Yes, valleys between the lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik ranges are dunes. It is this question is also coming to the one mark question. What are dunes? So you can say that lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks between these two, whatever the valleys you are finding, that valleys are called dunes. Example are the dunes: Dehradun, Kotli Dun, Patli Dun. These are the examples of the dunes which you can found in the lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks between them. Okay, are they popular? Yes, they are very prominent. What is the meaning of prominent? Very important and very famous in that area. That is the reason the Shivaliks are very popular, and the the people wants to go and see. These are the Shivaliks. Okay, the next part we are going for the discussion is the Himalayas are the reasons for the rain and the monsoon type of climate. Sometimes the question will ask you, sometimes the questions were asked you. What question? If Himalayas are not present in our country, what is our country's weathering effect, climatic temperature condition, growing crop, vegetations, all? Can we have any coastal plains, coastal regions, etc.? These are the very important questions. So we are saying that yes, Himalayas plays a vital role in the climatic condition. Okay, Himalayas are only the reason for the summer, rains and monsoon time of climate. Okay, where the Himalayas are located? So the presence of Himalayas in India play a vital role. Why we are saying it will play the vital role? Because it is effect on our Indian climate in the various way. It acts as a barrier protecting the Great Plains of India from the cold wind which come and blow from the Central Asia. Because India is the subcontinent of Asia. Whatever the winds which will blow during the winter season in Asian country, it was protected by our Himalayas. It is protected by our Himalayas. It will stand like a barrier. It will protect. Okay. So that is the reason we are saying. The second reason is that Himalaya is only the reason for the summer, rainy and the monsoon type of climate in India. The next word is most important. If the Himalayas were not situated in India, the region would become drier. It will become very drier. So this is the importance of Himalayas present in our country. Sometimes this question will ask you for 2 marks and sometimes for 4 marks. Okay. This is the Himalayas. Next when we are talking about the eastern boundary of Himalayas is Brahmaputra Valley. Okay, the eastern part, northeast, north, south. The north eastern part of the Himalayas having Brahmaputra valleys. The Himalayas taken hairpin bend to the south. Hairpin bend, the narrow path of the structure is look like a hairpin. Okay, small narrow part of the structure. That is the reason it is given the hairpin bend. The name is given by hairpin bend. It will act to the south and act as the eastern boundary of our India. So when you take a look, view from the above, from the any plane or the helicopter, you will find the space like a hairpin. The boundaries look like a hairpin, which will be bent to south and act as the eastern boundary of our India, which run through the northern eastern strait through divisions are known as Puruvanchals. Whatever the division you found, while the separation of these boundaries, that places will be known as Puruvanchal. Okay, we are Puruvanchal. Regionally the Puruvanchal known as Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, Manipuri Hills, Kashi Hills and Mezo Hills. Okay, this all will be known as, and it all comes under Puruvanchals. Okay, these were like we can say the Mismi Hills. Okay, the all previous explanation we covered. Now the same name we are having the different different state people will call the different way. The next thing is that after completing of Himalayas and the 3 major rivers, the Himalayan rivers, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, we have the next part of the Indo-Gangetic Plains. Indo-Gangetic Plains. The Indo-Gangetic Plains consist of 3 divisions. The western part, the central part, the eastern part. Okay, the Indo-Gangetic Plain consists of 3 divisions. Western part, the central part and the eastern part. So first we will discuss about western part. What is the western part? Western part formed by the Indus River. Okay, the western part of Indo-Gangetic Plains formed by the Indus River. Okay, and major part of the Indus River will found in Pakistan, and little bit you can found in Punjab and Bihar. It will flow little in the Punjab and Bihar. And Indus tributaries are Jhelum, Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj. These are the small tributaries of Indus. Okay, Indus tributaries are Jhelum, Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj. One more question it will cover. What is the tributaries of Indus River? Okay, Indus River, because of the Indus River, the western part will be found. The western part will be found. Okay, when we talk about the central part, Indo-Gangetic central part. So the Indo-Gangetic central part having Ganga plains. Okay, which is extend Ghaggar to Teesta. Ghaggar to Teesta. The central part extend Ghaggar to Teesta. Okay, mainly spread into the states. How many places it was covered? It was covered many states. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, partly in Haryana, Jharkhand and West Bengal. These all places will comes under the central part of Indo-Gangetic plains. When you talk about the eastern part of Indo-Gangetic plain, it exists mostly in Brahmaputra Valley of Assam only. The only with the one state you can find the Brahmaputra Valley, that is Assam, the where eastern part will exist mostly. Okay, this all will cover. So next thing, while flowing down, when this all Indo-Gangetic plain it will flow, what it carrying? What it carrying? It carrying and depositing gravel, pebble, sediment in the narrow belt of 8 to 16 kilometers width. Okay, 8 to 16 kilometer width, found in the foothills of Shivaliks, where you are finding this all narrow belt which is flowing from the Indo-Gangetic plain. Why that lands are very fertile? Because of this reason. While flowing, they are carrying the depositing gravel, pebbles, sediment, etc., which is making the land to be fertile, where the crops will grow easily. Okay, and what where you are finding this? Foothills of Shivaliks. Foothills of Shivalik, which is known as Bhabar. One more question will cover. What is Bhabar? What is Bhabar? You have to write it that the narrow belt which is spread of the width of 8 to 16 kilometers and found in south foothills of Shivaliks are known as Bhabar. Okay, what are the Bhabar? Because of the Bhabar we are finding the small rivers and the streams flow through it. Because of this Bhabar only we are getting the small rivers and the streams forming, originating, flowing, okay, through it. And the lower areas form of swampy and the marshy region called Tarai. So this is also one mark question. What is Tarai? You can say that the lower areas which is formed because of Bhabar, okay, that area is how it is? It is swampy and marshy. Okay, it is very fertile, containing food, natural nutrients which is needed for growing of crops. That's the reason that place is called as Tarai. Okay, up to here have you understood, girls? So how many points we completed, girls? All things we completed. Himalayas we talk about the major 3 parts of our Himalayas, and we talk about the Indo-Gangetic plains. Okay, all 3 points we covered. What is the next part? What is the next important topic of our lesson, of chapter? That is peninsular plateau. You know the peninsular, yesterday previous introduction topic I said you what are the differences between plains and the plateaus. Plateaus are the ups and downs and the hard rock areas is known as plateaus. The fertile and the flat land will be known as plains. Okay, we are talking about India is known as peninsular plateau. Why India is called a peninsular plateau, girls? Okay, one peninsular plateau, and we can say that island and peninsula. What are the differences between these two? Island, all sides, the small piece of land in the middle of the water, all 4 side waters covered by the land, it is known as island. Example, Lakshadweep Island I said you, and you can take the example of Lakshadweep Island. Many islands are there. So here the land which is surrounded by all side of water is known as island. Peninsula, the land which is covered or surrounded by 3 side of water. 3 side of water. And India is covered by 3 side of water. When you talk about the east, west and the southern part of our India, all side you are finding the water. Here Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean. So that's the reason India is called peninsular plateau. Okay, girls. So why we are saying peninsula means surrounded by the sea on the 3 side. We are covered all 3 points now. Like eastern part we are having Bay of Bengal. Southern part what we are having? Indian Ocean. And western part what we will have? Arabian Sea. So these are India is called the peninsular plateau. Let me see how is affecting on our land. What is containing? Either it is containing any natural resources, coal, minerals, petrol. What it contain? It is composed of all crystalline. Okay, because of the peninsular plateau, India is known as peninsular plateau, we are having the old crystalline, high igneous rock, metamorphic rock, large amount of metallic and non-metallic mineral are present in our India. Okay, why India is a peninsular country, this is the reason we are having this all. The next thing, the peninsular plateau consists of two divisions. Okay, the central highland or Malwa plateau. Okay, the central highland or Malwa plateau, Deccan plateau. Okay, the Malwa plateau located at the towards the east of the Chota Nagpur plateau. Where is that Malwa plateau was located? Towards the east of the central Chota Nagpur. East of the central Chota Nagpur plateau. Second, Deccan plateau, where it was located? The south of Narmada. South of Narmada. Where is Deccan plateau located? South of Narmada. So through this all map pointing we will do this all. Where is Malwa plateau? Where is Deccan plateau? Where is peninsular? This all we will locate. Where is Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. It is also most important to do the map pointing to get the practical knowledge of our India's relief features. When you come to the next, the Western Ghat, the Eastern Ghat and Nilgiri form western, eastern and southern boundaries. What is the western, eastern and the southern boundaries? You can see that India having the three parts. Okay, when here you are having the Eastern Ghat, here you are having the Western Ghats, and these two are joining where? The Nilgiri. Nilgiri, this is the south part. So this is the eastern, western and the southern part. Okay girls, so Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghats, Nilgiris are formed in the western, eastern and the southern boundaries. Okay girls, okay students, up to here I hope you understanding. Okay, so we will come to the next part, which is we are eagerly waiting when it will come. We travel so many places, yes or no? Yes, we are traveled so many places and we learned number of things. When you talk about this Western Ghats, so you can remember the two important points from the textbook I am showing you. Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern. So Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern part. The next I am saying you what is the most important point. Western Ghat extend for the 1600 kilometers. What is that extent point of Western Ghats? 1600 kilometers. Where it is going? Near Gudalur. Okay, near Gudalur, the Nilgiris join the Western Ghats. I already told you the southern part is the Nilgiris, which is formed. So it is also joined in Western Ghat. This is also found in Western Ghats. Okay, so you girls remember the main important point. Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern. Next thing, it was extended to the 1600 kilometers and it will nearer to the Gudalur, and Nilgiri will be formed, joined in the Western Ghats. These are the most important point. 2 or 3 marks question it will ask you. And the next thing, rise, what is the rise? What is the level of it? It will rise about 2000 meters. What is the height of the western part? 2000 meters. And famous hills are situated over there. The famous hill station Udagamandalam. Okay, Udagamandalam, which is a very popular and very famous hill station in Western Ghat, which is popularly known as Ooty. Many people know Ooty. Yes, we know Ooty, but Ooty's is another name is Udagamandalam. Okay, where it is located? It is located on the western part and the Nilgiris join over there. That's a red and giving the beauty to that hill station. So when you talk about the next, many things are there to cover in this point. So now, what is Doda Betta? It is also located in the Nilgiri Hills, giving the different name. This is also a hills. Okay, highest peak Doda Betta, 2630 meters. Okay, is the highest peak in Nilgiris. Where it is located? It is located in Nilgiris only. And what is the height of it? 2637 meters. Western Ghats includes consist Palani, Tamil Nadu, Annamadai and the Cardamom Kerala hills. These are the very, very famous hills. Annamadai 2695 meters of Annamalai Hills is the highest peak in the South India. Objective type question, you can say that which is the highest south peak in India is nothing but Annamalai Hills. Is the highest mountain peak in South India. South, when you're talking about the south, okay. So next thing, come to very interesting topic, third desert. So we are going to travel in our third desert. We have to know why it is here third deserts, because due to the less rainfall, hottest condition, okay, and it was leeward side of Aravalli. These all were the reason it was the desert, okay, and it was covering from 100 to 150 millimeters per year rainfall. A very little rainfall it will flow over there. It will raining now. What is that? 100 to 150 millimeters only per year. So here you are not having any source of rainfall, not having any thick forest, hill stations, valleys, okay, and it was reason is leeward side of Aravalli. It was located in the leeward side of Aravalli. Due to that it was very hot. Hot reason means no or very low vegetation. What is vegetation? Growing of crops, doing cultivation, plants, trees, etc. It is vegetation. So in third desert you are finding very low vegetation. Next you are saying that stream won't appear, any rivers it won't appear over there because of less rainfall. Due to less rainfall, only one river is there, that is Luni. What is the river name? Luni. Where you are finding this Luni river? In third desert. Where you are finding Luni river? In third desert. So that is only a one source of water facility, that is Luni river, and some after that it is also will dry. This is third desert. Come to the coastal plains. Where is coastal plain? Through map we can go where is coastal plains are located, okay, nearer adjacent boundaries, this areas which is located nearer to this eastern, western and the southern part, this is known as plains, coastal plains areas, and these places are very fertile lands. Why it is very fertile? Because it is adjacent to the water bodies, okay. Here you are finding the Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. So one more question, mostly rarely he will ask you from this the coastal plain topic, that you have to remember that these plains are uneven and are broken by hills terrain. Okay, this plain is uneven and broken by hills terrain. And how many parts it was broken? 3 parts it was broken. The first is Konkan coast, second is Canara coast, third is Malabar coast. These are the 3 coasts which is come under the coastal plains. You have to remember that this name: Konkan coast, Canara coast and Malabar coast. Konkan coast, where it is found, where it is located? It is northern part. Konkan coast, northern part. Where what is touching the Mahabharata, Maharashtra and Goa. Where it is touching, which places, which state is what touching? Maharashtra and Goa. Where you are finding the Konkan is the northern part of India. Which state it was touched? Maharashtra and Goa. Next you are talking about Kanara Hills. It was the middle part of our Indian map, middle part of it. It includes the coastal plains of Karnataka. Where this Kanara coast are found? In Karnataka. And first what I said here, Konkan in Maharashtra and Goa. And here the second Kanara is Karnataka. Karnataka. You remember this similar word. Next is Malabar coast. Malabar coast is the southern part. Kanaka is northern part. Malabar is southern part. Kanara is middle part. So here mostly state covers is Kerala. It will touches in Kerala. So hardly it will ask you one more question in this. Okay, the coastal plains. Then you come to the next where it was spread. What is the length? What is the height? Bay of Bengal plains. Where you are finding Bay of Bengal plains. What is that wide and the large surface? Stretching from the Mahanadi in Orissa to Kaveri. It was stretching, flowing, spreading Mahanadi to Orissa and Kaveri. Okay, deltas in Tamil Nadu. So what is deltas? the land which is formed flowing through that, they will rivers and all, it will form the deltas. Okay, the deltas are very fertile land. So next thing, when you talk about Mahanadi, these plains are formed by Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. These are the very famous rivers in our India. Okay, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, which are the water source of our Indian people. Okay, which water comes and supplied to the state of Telangana or any other state because of these rivers only. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Many other rivers are, these are the major one. Okay, one more question is asked you, what is Utkal coast? One more question it will cover. What is Utkal coast and where it is located? Utkal coast is called in Odisha or Sirkar coast, Andhra Pradesh, Coromandel coast, Tamil Nadu. This you have to remember, girls. Just it is one more question it will come. The last and most interesting point of our chapter is the islands. Islands, the piece of land which is surrounded all side water. All side water is known as islands. So we are having two islands. I already told you earlier. What is the two islands? Here the dots are missed. Here, like this is the Lakshadweep Islands. Here Andaman and the Nicobar Island. So these are the two famous islands. So you can say that Andaman and the Nicobar Island, which is stretching the Bay of Bengal. Yes, here you can see it is stretching the Bay of Bengal. Next we are saying is about Lakshadweep Island. Where is the Lakshadweep Island? In nearer to the Arabian Sea. Here this is the Lakshadweep Island and this is Arabian Sea. The next thing, why these lands are barren land? Because it was volcanic eruption. Because of volcanic eruption, these lands are barren, hard. Okay, this is known as barren. Barren means. So here one question will ask you, what is Indira Point? In this all the island topic, he will ask you what is Indira Point. It is most important to know. The southernmost tip of India is found in Nicobar Island. Okay, the southernmost tip of India is found in Nicobar Island, are called as Indira Point, which was submerged, which was merged in 2004 tsunami, which was disappeared, which was merged. Okay, that point will be known as Indira Point. Which year it was? 2004. What is the reason it was submerged? Because of tsunami. Okay, that island was submerged under the water. And the next thing is how much it was according to the geographical location. How much area it was covered? It was covered 32 square kilometers. The area was covered 32 square kilometers. Okay, and these islands are famous because of their variety of flora and fauna, which this is known as the coral reef. The coral reef is mostly found under the water. The plants and the marine life you will find under the ocean, that is known as coral reef. Okay guys, this is our chapter, the India's relief features. We covered all overview point which we'll discuss our introduction chapter. I hope so, and I'm hoping well that you all understood this chapter very well. So be ready for the examination point of view exercises. So next class I am giving you the examination point of questions. So do that exercises and prepare well. Good. All the best.